Here are the major projects in San Antonio that's happening in 2024 that's going to affect your neighborhood, where you live, affordability, and your house value. And some of these developments actually made people leave San Antonio. I'm Trey with the Cavalry Group, the worst San Antonio realtor according to the Express News. Like legislature passing bill to create special tax districts so you pay for these projects, along with infrastructure expansions. Everyone saw where you can buy a house at a very high interest rate, but also a rock bottom price. The people of San Antonio responded with higher days on market, prices that have plummeted in areas that still haven't recovered, and homes just sitting on the market. But that didn't stop any of the developers investing billions into this city. This UK company built its largest North American manufacturing plant in San Antonio, creating over 1,500 jobs. This opportunity has to be big, if not bigger, than Toyota, reports the San Antonio Business Journal. One of the world's largest privately owned makers of construction agricultural equipment plans to build its newest manufacturing facility in San Antonio. JCB plans to build a 750,000 square foot structure on 400-acre site in the city's Southside, which correlates to all the new construction coming to Vida San Antonio on the Southside and the Southeast side, which is where Elon is building his $440,000 rental facility for Tesla. This is going to leave an economic impact of $30 billion to the city of San Antonio, specifically the Southside. The major home builders like Lennar, D.R. Horton, Century Communities all have the affordable housing on the south side and southeast side, and all of these communities, even the tiny home communities, are going to be built around this development. We've had clients buy these homes on the south side and immediately rent them out to where it's right on 37 and 410, but also first-time buyers have a plethora of new home incentives and lower prices. You can't have this economic expansion without the development of the airport. The San Antonio Airport to break ground on its next phase of $2.5 billion expansion. Finally, our teeny little 2 terminals is going to grow. The $61 million facility will be built next to Terminal A and will span nearly 40,000 square feet. But even better news to the airport is they finally built a Whataburger in there. In my other videos, I talked about all of the abandonment that's happening in downtown San Antonio, but the only part of the area that's actually developing is the Pearl, which may be developing too much. Gray Street Partners Fulcrum releases vision for Broadway East development. The marketing team is hoping to attract retailers like Louis Vuitton, Lucchese, Gucci, Rolex. Design renderings show the western of the 15 acres fronting Broadway will be geared towards retail, residential, hotel, and additional retail. In that development is 19 Hayaku, which is an excellent sushi place. You gotta try it. This San Antonio Business Journal reported its first look at a $300 million mixed-use development from McCombs near the Pearl to add even more expensive things, tourism, restaurants. I'm going to assume that the Pearl is now the most desired area of tourism around San Antonio. We love the history, but we also like the nicer things. The Pearl has massively developed. So you have the middle of the Pearl, then you have across the river of the Pearl near Tobin Hill, then you have across Broadway that is now being developed, and the other side where the VFW is. So that entire quadrant is going to be massively visited by most of the locals, tourism, and residents around it. We have clients that bought Airbnbs. I even bought an Airbnb at the Pearl area, and it's been doing really well, even though the Airbnbs and short-term rentals have gone down here and around the San Antonio area. But of course, that doesn't come with the residents paying the bill. Texas legislature passes to create special tax district on downtown McCombs property. The district would encompass a 5.9 acre site. Any new taxes or bonds will be put into action by the board of directors that would be appointed by the San Antonio City Council. Hopefully this councilman is in the right state of mind for that vote. And finally, for the Pearl, the pig stand will be no longer there. And on the south side of San Antonio, this San Antonio developer plans 2,000 more homes, golf course for the southeast side. As these massive developments are happening to the south side and the southeast side, residents that are already there in established neighborhoods are going to have to fight with the builder incentives and the lower prices as they try to get people into the model home. Another $78 million in apartment and commercial projects are going to 37, along with all the $200,000 to $250,000 developments. This developer plots a 100-acre manufactured housing project on the Southside. These homes will cost between $80,000 and $120,000 and will feel like a luxury manufactured home community. Now let's shift to the Northeast mega region, which connects Austin all the way to Monterrey, Mexico, and the man himself is continuing his investment with our people in San Antonio. Tesla's wave spreads EV boom ripples through San Antonio and Austin. Central Texas and Atlanta are the two hottest EV markets in the country outside of Silicon Valley, according to Daniel Ives. If you go to my website and you look up the inventory that's happening around the 35 corridor, it's actually less homes for sale than there was a year ago. The Northeast side doesn't have as much land opportunities to develop neighborhoods like the Southeast side does. If you're in an established neighborhood, the values could potentially go up as more people want to live there and there's no room for development. You have less days on market and you have higher equity potential. Just ask our clients. San Antonio Business Journal reports as Austin San Antonio Metroplex, they should flip it to San Antonio Austin Metroplex, solidifies regionalism is needed more than ever, panelists say. The area between Austin and San Antonio has become a hotbed for new residents and companies. Hays County, Guadalupe County, Bexar County are among the fastest growing counties, and hundreds of people flock to San Antonio and Austin every day. Local leaders in Amtrak explore options to establish a commuter rail service. Would you want a rail service to connect the metro region between Austin, New Braunfels, and San Antonio? Here's where I see the market shift. In October 2023, My San Antonio reports home sales drop as houses continue to sit on the market. This was when the feds were actively increasing rates, plus low inventory, plus less people wanting to sell their homes, plus affordability sucking, equaled a very difficult market. Now with rates coming down, News for San Antonio just came out and said San Antonio Real Estate Outlook 2024 a promising time for home buyers. Most realtors will say it's always a good time to buy a house. To me, that is very wrong. I even put out a full-length YouTube video on don't buy a house during this time, but now it's very different. We saw San Antonio home prices come down drastically. Now we're seeing rates go down, which increases affordability. This will give us more people actively in the market to buy or sell homes. We're likely going to see better homes for sale at good price points. If you have more homes to pick from, then there won't be a huge spike in prices. And if we continue to have the fastest declining population in the US, we won't see the huge buying frenzy. I say that I'm the worst realtor because I cut the sales fluff and give you the truth. If you're looking to move around the San Antonio area, we would love to be the realtors of choice. Remember the Alamo,